Hold on to your horses, folks. We've got a lot to cover. Let me set this first clip up for you. A couple of weeks ago, Elon Musk posted about Tesla AI chips, in particular, stating this: "We expect to build chips, as in AI chips, at higher volumes ultimately than all other AI chips combined." Read that sentence again, as I'm not kidding. Now, some of you folks may have heard of a very small company, not a very successful company, experiencing very poor growth, known as NVIDIA, that just so happens to make the majority of AI chips on the planet at the moment. And they're printing ludicrous money, currently like a $4-ish trillion valuation. I'm losing track. Absurd growth. Tesla's going to need a lot of AI chips for robotaxis, far more for robots. And now, I think their biggest external customer for chips, which will be produced at Tesla's so-named Terafab, as in fabrication plant, I think Tesla's biggest external customer is going to be SpaceX. By the way, I'm not kidding. Elon Musk essentially confirming that SpaceX will IPO in 2026, presumably a $1.5 trillion valuation, raising apparently $30 billion. And you know what they're raising that capital for? Data centers in space. Let's watch this clip. The absurdity of what is about to happen is out of this world, literally.
I think the most important thing that's going to happen in the world in the next 3 to 4 years is data centers in space. If you think about it from first principles, data centers should be in space. What are the fundamental inputs to running a data center? They're power and they're cooling. And then there are the chips.
Note, you need power, cooling, and the chips. Chips as in the same thing that Elon Musk recently said on the record on X. Tesla over the longer term is going to be producing more chips than all others combined. Now hear about the SpaceX IPO. Massive capital raise. And as I said, SpaceX is no question going to be Tesla chip's biggest external customer. Again, the scale of what's about to happen is astronomical. Huge for Tesla, huge for SpaceX, and huge for AI.
The inputs to making the tokens come out of the magic machines. Yeah. So in space, you can keep a satellite in the sun 24 hours a day, and the sun is 30% more intense. And this results in 6 times more irradiance in outer space than on planet Earth. So you're getting a lot of solar energy. Point number 2, because you're in the sun 24 hours a day, you don't need a battery. And this is a giant percentage of the cost. So the lowest cost energy available in our solar system is solar energy in space, okay? Second, for cooling, in one of these racks, a majority of the mass and the weight is cooling. And the cooling in these data centers is incredibly complicated. Crazy, yeah. You know, I mean, the HVAC, the CDUs, the liquid cooling. In space, cooling is free. You just put a radiator on the dark side of the satellite.
It's fucking gold.
And it's as close to absolute zero as you can get. So all that goes away. And that is a vast amount of cost. And then let's think about how each satellite is kind of a rack. Well, how are you going to connect those racks? Well, it's funny. In the data center, the racks are over a certain distance connected with fiber optic. And that just means a laser going through a cable. The only thing faster than a laser going through a fiber optic cable is a laser going through absolute vacuum. So if you can link these satellites in space together using lasers, you actually have a faster and more coherent network than in a data center on Earth, okay? For training, that's gonna take a long time, just because it's so big. But for inference, let's think about the user experience. You know, when I asked Grok about you and it gave the nice answer, here's what happened. A radio wave traveled from my cell phone to a cell tower. Then it hit the base station, went into a fiber optic cable, went to some sort of metro aggregation facility in New York, probably within 10 blocks of here. There's a small little metro router that's routed those packets to a big XAI data center somewhere, okay? And then the computation was done, and it came back over the same path. If the satellites can communicate directly with the phone, and Starlink has demonstrated direct-to-cell capability, you just go boom, boom. It's a much better, lower cost user experience. So in every way, data centers in space, from a first principles perspective, are superior to data centers on Earth.
He's right. Now, I want to add some context here. It's not just that from a physics point of view, data centers in space are superior. The world is heading toward a massive bottleneck with AI, which is energy. This is still going to be a massive bottleneck for years to come. But if you could move inference, at least some of it, off Earth into space, free 24 hours a day, power from the sun, even if there was a major premium to the cost, it would still be worth it. And Gavin, who you just saw in that clip, posted this. Deeply amused by all the confident commentary that data centers in space do not work from a physics and engineering perspective. More on these supposed engineering experts in a moment. Elon operates two of the largest coherent GPU clusters in the world. SpaceX operates the largest satellite constellation in the solar system. More than 10 years later, no other company or country can consistently land and reuse orbital rockets. The post continues, but I just wanted to add a little bit of additional commentary on this. In short, this is going to happen. This is going to work, and this is abso-fucking-lutely gigantic. And again, Tesla is going to be making chips ultimately that end up in these data centers in space. Musk's companies truly are converging. Musk recently wrote this: AI5 and AI6 engineering, as in the AI chips at Tesla, is my biggest time allocation at Tesla. AI5 will be good. AI6 will be great. Nick on X writes, this is the convergence Elon is talking about. Tesla AI chips, SpaceX satellites, and xAI's Grok AI data centers in space. Well, guess who replied to this post? Elon. One word. Convergence. It is remarkable to watch this play out. If you had told me 10 years ago that there'd be a meaningful convergence between SpaceX and Tesla, I would have said, you're high. Yet, here we are. Now, back to the so-called experts. In case you don't know who this is, her name is Alexandra Ocasio-Cortez. One of, and by the way, there's quite a lot of competition, the most brain-dead politicians in the United States. Quite an achievement. Let's see what Alexandra Ocasio-Cortez recently had to say about Elon Musk, keeping in mind her target audience, extremely low IQ, absolutely left-hearted, mentally unwell, full-time Reddit mods.
Elon Musk is not a scientist. He is not an engineer. He is a billionaire con man with a lot of money.
The audacity of this wretch to suggest Musk is a con man, what? And not an engineer? But of course, she surely doesn't believe what she's saying. She's just trying to pander to a bunch of absolutely deranged Elon bad, billionaire bad, capitalism bad, unproductive, unhappy, give me, I didn't earn it, but give me something that you've earned, allergic to hard work, mostly recent work university graduates.
He does not have this kind of good background.
So articulate. So, from this dolt, an absolutely brain-dead Elon hater, to the other end of the intelligence bell curve, an absolute gigabrain, James Dowmer posted this hilarious depiction with the caption, airliner designed by ADAS experts. On screen now. Absolutely fucking hilarious. Because as you know, let's just simplify it. The Robotaxi experts, the autonomy experts. So you need LiDAR and radar and gator and sonar and all sorts of other sensors. Otherwise, it's impossible to solve autonomy. Here's the end result. Oh, God. The opposite of elegance and simplicity in engineering. Such an extremely well-made point. Grok Imagine brought this absolute monstrosity to life. Rarely have I ever seen a post so succinctly say so much. Shit. Meanwhile, Sawyer Merritt posting this hilarious headline via Automotive News. Nissan seeks to undercut Tesla with $4,000 self-driving system by early 2028. Elon Musk chimes in anytime now. Now, moments ago, I described, accurately I might add, Alexandra Ocasio-Cortez as one of the dumbest politicians in the United States and an Elon hater. By the way, holy shit, 420 likes exactly. Matt Smith today absolutely trolling probably the actual dumbest politician in the United States, who's also far and away the biggest Elon hater, simply posting 225 and dropping this in reference to Minnesota Governor Tim Walz. Here's what this absolute fuckwit had to say around March. Truly despicable moment.
Saying on my phone, I don't know, some of you know this on the iPhone, they've got that little stock app. I added Tesla to give me a little boost during the day. 225 and dropping. So
this is so fucked up. For a governor to be wishing for a company, its stock price to continue to crash, an employer of many tens of thousands of US citizens and residents, to suggest it would give him a boost, it tells you everything you need to know about this guy's personality. Absolute wretched human being. So I wonder what prompted Matt to post this today. Well, it just so happens that Tesla stock today crossed over $450 per share, which is exactly double 225. Now, did something happen around 225 per share other than Tim Walz embarrassing himself, revealing his true colors and his nature? I feel like maybe... Oh, wait, I remember. I keep forgetting. How could I? Jeremy sold just over $225 at $253.97 per share, locking in a very substantial profit on Tesla, which has since approximately doubled. This was back late April. Well, it seems the rage bait is no longer working. Jeremy recently posting, I had a dream. I bought Tesla stock back. You know what? I've got to post a reply to this. I believe in you. Dreams can come true. Shit. I mean, that's a pretty funny reply. This was December 10th. By the way, the opposite of this would be me. I'd have a nightmare if I dreamed that I sold Tesla. Still haven't sold a single share. Well, that was a couple of days ago. Next minute, same guy. 2 days later, posts, Tesla has sold full self-driving. I'm going to like this because, I mean, it's true. Imagine my shock. So, from 225 and dropping to 450 and rising. It's been quite a ride over the last 7, 8, 9 months, hasn't it? Want more content? Early access? Bunch of perks? Click the links in the pinned comment. AG1 has been part of my daily health protocol for almost half a decade. It's packed full of vitamins and minerals and helps me fill in nutritional gaps while supporting energy, digestion, and immune function. It also has prebiotics and probiotics to promote gut health. I take my health very seriously, and so should you. Try AG1 today by visiting drinkag1.com/SMR or click the link in the pinned comment and enjoy a free welcome kit with vitamin D3 plus K2 and AG1 travel packs. That's drinkag1.com/SMR.